Hi, I'm Roger and welcome back to the Tractor Tech channel. As you can see behind me, I'm not doing too good on cutting the firewood this year. These are the logs that I laid out probably a month ago and I haven't even cut them yet. So I need to really try to make some time, get out here, get this wood cut and split, and get some more in. The guy was supposed to bring a load in a week after he brought this last load here, and I haven't heard anything. I haven't really stayed on him because I'm not doing too good at cutting and splitting right now. Had a few hot days this week, but today it's like 69 degrees right now. It's supposed to get down to 48 tonight. Really cool weather. Wish I could have had some time today to have gotten out here and worked on this wood, because it's pretty rare that we have weather this nice in June. This is unseasonably cool weather for this time of year. And the breeze is stirring a little bit. It's really, really nice. It almost feels like a fall day. So what I want to talk about is the Mingo marker. A lot of these people will review a product after they just take it out of a box and use it. And that's okay for a first impression, but it's not really a true test. If you use this Mingo marker to mark over 100 cords of wood, it's probably bumping on 125 cords, maybe a hair more. So I know a little bit about it now, and I like the thing. When I got it, I believe it was around 40 bucks. I meant to look it up and see how much it currently is. Not sure what it goes for. I only got the model that marks 16-inch wood because that's primarily what I cut. I do cut wood like 23.5 inches for a guy, for a boiler, but I never got another wheel. Just mark that by hand since it's not something I do frequently. But they do make different size wheels to mark different lengths wood. I believe they go from 8 inches to 24 inches on these Mingo markers. And I'm not sponsored in any way by Mingo marker. Bought this with my own money. So the one problem I've had with it, now that it's been used some, I'm not complaining about it, because after I did the first truckload of wood, I felt like it paid for itself. I'll include that video in the end screen, because what I can do is I can mark the log, and then as I can see, if there's, when I get to the end of the log, if there's like an 8-inch piece, a few pieces back, I can start cutting each one maybe a couple inches shorter, so that way I end up with a maybe 15-inch piece of wood instead of an 18-inch piece of wood, so that way I end up with more sellable firewood when I cut this way. Now when I cut out of the grapple, I'm going to end up with scrap wood because you can't really play in a hit as easily on the grapple, and I'm trying to cut faster. But since it's been used so much, these teeth on the wheel are actually wearing down. This wheel's getting to where it needs to be replaced. I'm not exactly sure what the piece of equipment is, but it's like a processor or something. It picks the log up, it delimbs it, and then it bucks it to length. And that's how the guy I buy the wood off of does it. And you can see like this cherry log here, there's bark missing. So on something like this cherry where this bark is missing, if I hit that spot with that Mingo marker, I have to watch, the wheel will want to slide. So if the wheel's sliding, it's not turning, so now I'm going to end up with an extra long piece of firewood. So that's kind of like my only complaint with it. My next complaint, that's nothing major, is they claim that 1 can of paint will mark 100 cords of wood. Even if you have the 24-inch wheel or whatever the biggest wheel is, I don't see how that's possible, because marking this 16-inch wood, I go through a can of paint probably 5 to 6 cords. That's really, really far off from the 100 cords. I'm not complaining about it, but I don't know why they said 100 cords. I don't know how they arrived at that. I mean, I know the faster you push the wheel, it's really simple design. The wheel goes around, it hits that, hits this lever that sprays it. So if you're pushing it slow, you're going to end up with a big blotch of paint. If you're pushing it fast, you're going to end up with a smaller one. You need to watch when you get to the end of the piece of wood that it doesn't stick and spray and you paint your pants and shoes and all that stuff too. Or a chainsaw or something that's close by. Thankfully the marking paint wears off real easily. So all that stuff's going to affect the mount, but I'm saying around 6 cords is what I can get out of a can of paint, way off the 100. So I'll drop it down here and mark some wood so you can see. But I really like it, and probably actually wouldn't be a bad thing for me to have a second one on hand just in case this one would break or accidentally get run over or something. But I've used it in cold weather, used it in warm weather. It's always worked. When you do get done using it, you want to turn the wheel backwards so you can't turn it anymore. Then tighten the wing nut down if you do leave your paint can in it. So I'll loosen this up just a hair so it turns pretty freely, and get to marking this wood. And maybe I can actually get some wood cut tonight. I mean, it's only 8 o'clock. Now when I mark a log, I like to start on the big end, so that way if I end up with a short piece on the small end that's I'm going to call non-sellable firewood, it's a smaller diameter piece, so that way I'm losing a little less wood. Sometimes you can have a log that's really big on one end and really small on the other end, so it kind of adds up. If your log's cut crooked, you do need to hold it back to where it looks like it's even. I hold my hand on the back and then apply a little bit of downward pressure so that way that the wheel doesn't slip. This log has a bit of poison on it, which is really nice. And this log is cut off really crooked. It was probably a big limb on a tree. So I'll start about here. So that way I can end up with a nice straight piece of wood to put on the splitter. And running the Mingo marker is just about like driving a car. You do need to look ahead where you're going, so you don't drive up over this knot. It's kind of nice to go around them, because that will affect your distance. Have another crooked one. So it didn't take me long to mark all 11 of these logs. These little logs like this one here that are a toothpick, they're a little bit more difficult to mark than a bigger log. A bigger log is easier because it's higher, you don't have to bend over as much, and since it's a larger diameter, it's just more surface area for you to run the wheel down. So I'll go get a chainsaw, get the thing gassed up, and cut some of this wood so you can see what the wood looks like from a Mingo marker. My bar oil container was overfilled, so it was like right up to the top, so it was really hard to pour. I spilled bar oil really bad on the muffler, so the saw's going to smoke. Well, that was about a half a tank of gas run through the piped Farmer Tech 660 cutting firewood. So I don't know if that's enough to qualify this saw as a firewood saw, but it cut this log. It cut this log and cut most of that log. Just got to finish a couple cuts on it. So now I need to go find another saw with some gas to finish this one. I know I have a bunch of saws up there with gas in them, so I'm trying to get them all used up. I don't like to have too many saws with gas in them. I have gas where I can put in other saws, like the 036 that I was running earlier. I gassed it up because I needed to test it some. Alright, everything is all cut up. Went up to the building. Been needing to run this Farmer Tech 372. I've been having some carb issues with it. Think it's running pretty good now. It's a hair bit on the rich side, but I didn't adjust it. The 036 in the video at the beginning was running just a tad bit rich. That's what the burble was. If I pushed down on it and put a heavier load on it, it wouldn't do it. I just didn't want to take the time to adjust the carb, especially on the 036 for no more than it was off. This saw here, just a little bit left to cut, not really worth messing with. But I think it's running pretty good. Had some growing pains early on with that saw, but I'm starting to get happy about the way it's running. So I got all this wood cut up. I can take the Titan rock bucket, push it up in a pile, split it, or lay more logs out and cut more. Not sure what I'll do next. Might lay more logs out to cut. Everything now is nice and even by using the Mingo marker. I have a nice high quality product here that I can split and sell and get a decent price out of. Won't be one of these guys that's selling 8-inch wood all the way up to 24-inch wood, which I can cut fairly accurately, but the Mingo marker kind of keeps you in check. No more work than it is, and I don't know what a can of paint is these days. I bought a case the last time because it was getting hard to find. I think it was like 50, 60 bucks for a case. So it's not super expensive, just to kind of keep you in check. So now the big question is, who needs a Mingo marker? And the answer is probably just about everyone that cuts firewood with a chainsaw. If you have a processor, of course, you're not going to need one of these. If you're a homeowner, you may or may not need one, you may not care. If you're selling firewood and cutting with a chainsaw, I'm going to say that you need a Mingo marker for no more than these things cost. It's a super fast way to mark the firewood. It's consistent and not an expensive tool to use, not an expensive method to mark the firewood with. And the one thing I always think of, time is money. Yeah, you can go down through there and mark it with the lumber crown, or you can cut a piece of wood off and go down through there and mark it with a piece of paint, but I can pretty much walk this down the log, especially a bigger log. I can cruise down it really fast and have it marked in no time. So time is money is the way I look at it. This isn't a very expensive tool to have, doesn't take up much space, so it's well worth the investment if you're selling firewood. Thanks for watching this video. Hope you found it helpful on the Mingo marker.